In this episode, I go over my top 10 picks for New Comic Book Day, June 16th, 2021. What is going on, guys? Justin here, aka No Good Comics, and welcome back to the channel. I'm really excited to dive right into my top 10 picks for New Comic Book Day coming out June 16th, 2021 next week. So if you're excited and you're looking forward to hearing a little bit about some of these books that are coming out, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Welcome, and make sure you hit that little bell notification so you can be notified of all of the videos that I have going out, whether it's live or pre-recorded and so on and so forth. So big shout out to the community. I just recently had a birthday and appreciate all the kind words. I know I've said this before, but I really truly love the community here. So if you guys are new to the comic book community, I highly recommend diving into this community, getting to know people, checking out people's content, interacting and engaging with others. And yeah, there's just so many incredible people in this community. So love you all, appreciate everybody. But let's dive into the top 10 because it was a little closer this time. Normally I have like 15 or 16 books that I'm like trying to jam into my top 10. This time around I had just about 10. It was even with what I'm looking forward to. And I always like to clarify that these 10 books are the books that I'm looking forward to reading, that I'm looking forward to when they come out. These are going to be, at least in the order that I put them in, what I'm going to be reading first, second, third, so on and so forth. So I'm going to do my top 10 counting backwards, 10 down to 1. And yeah, so let's get started. So we have first off Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow coming out, and this is part of the DC Infinite Frontier. I am really excited for this book because, well, it's Tom King, and I know not everybody's a fan of some of Tom King's work, but he certainly has hit home runs with some of his work as well, and I'm the optimistic type, so I'm hoping that Tom King hits this one out of the park. It is 8 issues altogether, and, you know, hoping that it's a great one. We have the artist here, Bill Evely, I think is how I'm saying that. And I'm not very familiar with the artist, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. And, you know, Tom King is definitely more known for his shorter story arcs, his mini series and maxi series. So, you know, 8 issues here. I'm not very familiar. I mean, I've said this before. I'm still getting into DC. I'm still learning a lot of the different characters as I go, but I want to give this a shot. So this is my number 10 on the list, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. All right, coming up at number 9 on my list, we are going with Project Patron, written by Steve Orlando, and I have to say I really enjoyed the first issue. This is number 3 that's coming out here, and I will admit I have not caught up on number 2 yet, but I did enjoy number 1. The rundown here is that it's basically 30 years ago, the Patron died, the superhero that essentially protected the Earth, only for the United Nations to kind of replace him with this perfect robotic duplicate that the world has no idea about. So it's this team of individuals who are kind of running this robot while the world thinks that he is still just alive and well. So I'm really excited for it. Aftershock has been just killing it. I talk about this all the time. So this is issue number 3. I think this is like a 5-issue set, if I'm not mistaken. But I am definitely looking forward to just reading more of this stuff. And, you know, I'm really enjoying what I've read so far. The artist here, Patrick Piazzalunga, if I'm saying that right. Apologize if I butchered that, but really like the artwork in this as well. As you can see, very nice cover as well. So yeah, so that is my number 9 on the list, Project Patron. Let's see, we are going into my number 8 pick on the week. We are going to go with Alien issue number 4. I am really enjoying this series. I know it's hit or miss for some people with the artwork and so on and so forth, but overall, it is giving me everything that I've expected out of Alien. I'm going to continue to go on with it. You know, the first 2 issues really had me hooked. So, yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. If you like these type of movies, I mean, this is what you're getting when you're getting Alien. So, I think there's nothing short of that. Philip Kennedy Johnson is the one writing it. Salvador LaRocca is doing the artwork for this. So, yeah, I mean, ultimately, I'm a fan of this, and I'm gonna keep going with it. So that is my number 8 on the list. Alien number 4. Let's see. Number 7. So I am going to include an X-Men book here, and I've talked about this a little bit before. X-Men I usually don't have on the list because I'm still catching up with the series. I'm a little over halfway through X of Swords right now, so still working on that, and I'm really enjoying where it's going. So, but I wanted to put on here as my number 7 pick of the week, Planet Size X-Men #1. I am always a fan of picking up anything that's like an annual type of series or anything like that of the X-Men. And I have to admit, this issue or this cover that we're looking at here, just an absolutely stunning cover. I know that right now they're part of the Hellfire Gala that's going on. I'm not too familiar with all the details as I am not caught up, but definitely just a beautiful cover. Looking forward to it. So I'm just going to leave it at that for now. Definitely going to pick it up though. This is my number 7 on the list. Planet Size X-Men #1. Let's see. So we're going into number 6 here, and I got to go with Home. Home issue number 3. This is an Image comic written by, Julio Anta. And I'm just really enjoying this. Me and my girlfriend are reading this together, actually. And it's a very heavy story. They're essentially is about a mother and son who get ripped apart at the border, get separated. And the son has superpowers that he just discovers as he's going along. But the story is so much more than that. As we're talking about, people traveling across the border from the Mexico border into America, migrating, and the process that America has in place is very disturbing in this book, and showing all kind of the layout of what's happening at the border. So it's a very heavy story, and much more than just the idea of a kid having superpowers per se. But anyways, that is part of it as well. The kid does have superpowers, and he is going to try his best to figure out a way to get back to rejoining his mother, who has been separated from the beginning. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this next issue here, and like I said, it is definitely a heavier read, but I do think it's an important one, and I'm really looking forward to it. So that is my number 6 pick on the week. Home, issue number 3. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have number 5. We're halfway through. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Number 5 here, Time Before Time, issue number 2. I really enjoyed the first one, basically about the idea of living in this futuristic world that is like basically going to trash, right? Going to hell. And there's this system or this group that can basically smuggle you back to the past, like time travel, to live a better future and a better life. But it does cost in order to get there, and so I kind of leave it at that. But I really thought this was creative. This is an Image published book written by Rory McConville and also Declan Shelby, and then the artist is Joe Palmer. So really cool. I really enjoyed how this first issue ended. So this is just issue number 2. Highly recommended. If you guys have not read it yet, it is my number 5 on the pick. So there it is, Time Before Time, issue number 2. Jumping into number 4, this is where it gets tough, and I always say this, like these last 4 are really close to a degree. Probably my number 1 is a big separation. You guys could probably guess my number 1, but my number 4 for now, I'm going to go with The Many Deaths of Layla Starr. This is issue number 3. And if you guys are not reading this, this is a Ram V story written by Ram V, and Ram V is just killing it. And I just love the concept of this book. This is Boom Studios, by the way. It is basically the idea that this avatar or goddess, the goddess of death, has this job of being death, and she gets let go. She gets fired. And not only that, she gets let go and then is sentenced to having to retire the rest of her time as a mortal living on Earth. So it's and then of course she wants her job back. She finds out that there's this baby who was born who essentially is going to grow up to have the power to give immortality. And so they're basically like, hey, look, there's not going to be much more death needed, so we don't really need you anymore, so we're going to let you go. So it was kind of her journey now to figure out and stop this baby, essentially wanting to kill this baby, right? So it's very interesting concept, very interesting indeed. So I'm enjoying it. Ram V, the artist here, Felipe Andrade, definitely doing some great work. Love that beautiful cover that we're looking at here. Again, that'll be my number, what did I just say? My number 4 pick on the week, The Many Deaths of Layla Starr. Let's see, we're getting down to it here, the last three, and I'm moving quick here. This is good. I'm keeping it under 10 minutes right now. Appreciate you guys hanging out. If you guys are in the chat, the live or the the pre-recorded live chat for premiering as this video is being premiered. If not, if you're catching a replay, appreciate you doing that as well. All right, my number 3 pick on the week has got to be this book right here, Radiant Black, issue number what is this? Issue number 5? Yes. Man, Radiant Black issue 4 was amazing. I don't know if you guys didn't read that yet, but the way it ended has changed a lot of different things. So, I've talked about this book in the past. Issue 4 has definitely had a big change up to the overall story that has kind of shifted gears, and I'm wondering where it's going to go from here. I've been loving it from issue number 1, but 2 and 3, it kind of was building up to something. So, 4 was definitely this curveball. So Radiant Black, if you guys are not familiar with it, it started out with this individual who basically was down on his luck, not happy with life as he, was not able, he was in a lot of debt. He was trying to figure out how to pay the bills. He didn't have a good job. He had to move back with his parents because he couldn't afford to live on his own anymore. And he just kind of felt like a failure. He felt down about things. And then out of nowhere, he discovers this suit, this futuristic, powerful suit with all these different superpowers that he transforms into. So he's trying to figure out how to use this, how to be good with it, and what he can do in the world or what he can do for himself. And so it's really interesting. And like I said, issue 4 is crazy. So this book right here, issue number 5, I'm really looking forward to. So that's coming out very soon. Written by Kyle Higgins, of course, and the artist is Marcelo Costa. Really enjoying that. So that is my number 3 pick on the week. Radiant Black issue number 5. Let's see, we are getting down to the last 2 here. It is close, but I'm gonna have to go with Silver City issue number 2. It's an Aftershock book, and if you guys do not know or did not know, I just interviewed the writer to Silver City, Olivia Quatero Briggs. She was on my channel for my very first episode of Comic Creator Origins, where I bring on a creator to ask them about their origin story of how they got started in the industry, how they developed this passion for writing, and especially how they got involved with comic book writing. Because as you'll learn, if you go back and watch the video, Olivia does a lot more than just comic book writing. She's very involved in TV and other things as well. So the interview was awesome. I will make sure to link that in the description below. If you guys missed my Comic Creator Origins from this past Monday, I highly recommend going and checking that out because it was a lot of fun. Olivia is a awesome person, and hearing the story, the background of how she came to writing Silver City was just incredible. And I will kind of just leave it at that. I love this book. I am so excited for more. It's a 5-issue series. I'm actually sad already that it's only 5 issues because I want so much more of it. And we're here only on issue 2 right now. The artist too, by the way, shout out to Luca Murley. Luca is doing some incredible work as well. And just overall, as you can see, this cover here is just stunning. So a really cool concept of Silver City where basically Silver City is the, what do you call it? The in-between after death, the purgatory, essentially. So it's this location that you go to, but you kind of continue living in a way. So it's a really interesting take on death and just the afterlife. So I highly recommend it. And if you haven't caught that interview that I did with Olivia Quatero Briggs, please take a moment to do so because it was a lot of fun and she has some really awesome stories to tell. So yeah, that's my number 2 pick on the week. Silver City issue number 2 by Aftershock. Absolutely loving it. So we're cruising here. We are cruising right now. I have 1 book left to go, and I just want to say, take a moment, smash that like button if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and leave me a comment in the comment section below, whether you are here right now in the premiere video or if you're just watching the replay. Let me know some of the thoughts that you have on some of these books. Are you reading them? Are there some books I haven't mentioned that you think I might be missing out on? I did that last week. I completely forgot about Bunny Mask. Did not keep it on my list. That should definitely have been on my top 10, and it wasn't because I just overlooked it. I'm not sure how I did that, but Bunny Mask that just came out, which was a really creepy book, by the way, which I just read. But yeah, so I certainly, hey, look, I'm not perfect with this stuff. These are just some books that I've caught my eye and I'm kind of diving into. But, if I miss something, let me know in the comment section below. Let's get into my number 1 pick. And if you haven't guessed it, already. I mean, I'll give you like 2 seconds, you people in the premiere, but if you haven't guessed it by now, you should know I'm just absolutely obsessed. This has gotten me it's changed my world with with what I'm reading. Because I've read this series, I am now reading DC in general, and I'm even starting to consider going back and reading some older DC, believe it or not. So, it's really changed my outlook on just comics in general and some of the books that I'm reading. This book right here, Nightwing 81. That is my number 1 pick of the week. And man, let's just take a moment to look at this beautiful cover. Can we just... Oh my gosh, this is stunning. Absolutely stunning. The artwork and the cover, this particular cover by Bruno Redondo, but the covers in general have all been amazing. The artwork on the interior has been amazing. Bruno has just been killing it, and so has Tom Taylor. Tom Taylor has just changed my world completely. I've talked about this so many times, and I'm just so excited because this gives me an excuse to talk about Nightwing again, because I know I've just been hammering at it every time I go on a stream. I feel like I talk about Nightwing, and I like to clarify. If you guys have never read Nightwing before in your life, let me just say I was never a Nightwing person, never read any Nightwing before. I knew very little knowledge about the character other than that he used to be a Robin, one of Batman's Robins. Otherwise, didn't really know much about him. And it all started with Nightwing 78 for me, completely changed everything. I don't even know how. I just gave it a shot. I heard, DC kind of doing this reboot, getting Tom Taylor to write this particular run now, that it's kind of shifted gears. And that issue, 78, if you haven't read it, go back and read it. That's all I can say. It's literally a book that made me tear up, and I've never had that before up until that book. So, and then the entire series since then, these past 3 issues, 4 issues, now fourth issue, with Tom Taylor, in the writing seat. It's just been absolutely amazing stuff. I am in love with the character, in love with the writing, and just the overall story of where things are going. Nightwing's like my favorite now. It's crazy. So, if you guys are not reading this, I highly recommend it. This is my number 1. It's number 1 for a reason on my list. And I don't care if you're not a DC person, if you're not a Nightwing person, just give it a shot. Go read 78. Go read 79. We're also getting a big villain in this series, so who knows if this is going to be some key appearance of some sort. But man, just go read it. It is so good. It's been so good. So I can't wait for this. And I keep staring at this cover, man. I really am excited. So Bruno Redondo, Tom Taylor writing. I want more of it. I want more of this team. I would love them on anything. Get them on some X-Men. That'd be so cool. But anyways, so this is part 4 of the Nightwing series for Tom Taylor, and I can't say enough about it. I've already talked too much about it, so I'm going to leave it at that. But that is it for my top 10 picks of the week for June 16th, 2021. But hey, let me know in the comment section below, like I said before, if I missed anything, if there's something you're really excited about, or if you just 100% agree with everything I had to say here today. Would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button on the way out. I really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you're hanging out in the chat right now for the premiere, thank you so much for taking the time to do so. If you are watching the replay to this and you want to catch the premiere next time, hey, I'm always premiering these 12:30 Eastern on Thursdays, so I look forward to maybe hanging out with you guys then. And if not, thank you anyways for taking the time to watch this either way. These have been a lot of fun, and I'm going to continue to do these top 10 picks every week based on the next week's new comic book day. So as I always say, it's just such a great time to be reading comics right now. So I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am, and I appreciate all of you taking the time to watch. So until next time, I will talk to you later.